Hello, welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuffs and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today is a very pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things. And on this very pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things, we will of course be continuing our reading from the amazing fantasy masterpiece, The Eye of Argon by Jim Theis. I will be talking about the amazing success that the first Stuff and Things live stream was last weekend. We'll get into the next blend that I'll be featuring on the channel in a first impressions video coming up soon. We'll talk a little bit more about some guitar videos that I'm going to be producing. I can't help it. I've got the bug. I've got to make these videos. We're going to do a What Am I Reading segment, as we seem to get a pretty good response from that last time. And then, of course, we will have your questions in hashtag #AskStuffandThings. So, there's so much going on. I really want to thank everyone for coming to the live stream last weekend, but we got to do first things first, and that is The Eye of Argon by Jim Theis. Last time we had an extended kind of digression. I mean, I guess this entire work is a digression, but we had the wench who was going to be sacrificed, but then she was trying to escape. So it seems, now this is the weird thing. And for those of you who didn't watch the live stream, remember that video is up on the channel, the recording of that live stream, so you can hear this reading from the Eye of Argon that we did during the live stream. She was struggling with the shaman, and it seemed like she was going to make an escape or something, but then it ends, let's see, shuddering from the clammy touch of the shaman as they grappled with her supple form, hands wrenching at her slender arms and legs in all directions, her bare body being molested in the midst of a labyrinth of orange smudges, purple satin, and mangled skulls shadowed in an eerie crimson glow. Her confused head reeled, then clouded in a mist of enshrouding ebony as she lapsed beneath the protective sheet of unconsciousness to a land peach and resign. It seems as though she just passed out and she's still in the clutches of the evil priests. So we're going to have to hopefully see that something resolves with that later. But now we're in chapter 6, and we're back with our good friend, Grigner.
"Take hold of this rope," said the first soldier, "and climb out from your pit, slut. Your presence is requested in another far deeper hellhole."
Grigner slipped his right hand to his thigh, concealing a small, opaque object beneath the folds of the G-string wrapped around his waist. Brine wells swelled in Grigner's cold, jade-squinting eyes, which, grown accustomed to the gloom of the Stygian pools of ebony engulfing him, were bedazzled and blinded by flickering radiance cast forth by the second soldier's resin torch. Tightly gripped in the second soldier's right hand, opposite the intermittent torch, was a large, double-edged axe, a long, leather-wound, oaken-handled transfixing transfixing the center of the weapon's iron head. Adorning the torsos of both of the sentries were thin yet sturdy hauberks, with breastplates of which were woven of tightly hemmed twines of reinforced silver braiding. There's so many things wrong with these last few sentences. Cupping the soldiers' feet were thick leather sandals wound about their shins to 2 inches below their knees. Wrapped about their waists were wide satin girdles with slender-bladed poniards dangling loosely from them, the hilts of which featured scarlet-encrusted gems. Resting upon the manes of their heads and reaching midway to their brows were smooth copper morions. Spiraling the lower portion of the helmet were short, upcurved silver spikes with a golden hump spiraled from the top of each bassinet. Beneath their chins, wound round their necks and draping their clad shoulders, dangled regal purple satin cloaks, which flowed midway to the soldiers' feet. When this story first started, not every single character who was introduced had to have every single minutia of their costume described. It seems as though Jim has fallen more in love with this mode as the story has progressed, and now every single character, no matter how minor, who is put into this story has their entire ensemble dissected. It's ridiculous. Anyway, back to the story. Hand over hand, feet braced against the dank walls of the enclosure, huge Grigner ascended from the moldering depths of the forlorn abyss. Yeah, he spelled everything wrong. His swelled limbs, stiff due to the boredom of a timeless inactivity, compounded by the musty atmosphere and jagged granite protuberant against his body, craved for action. The opportunity now presenting itself served the purpose of oiling his rusty joints and honing his dulled senses. He braced himself, facing the second soldier. The sentry's stature was wildly exaggerated in the glare of the flickering cresset, cuppix, in his right fist. His eyes were wide open in a slightly slanted, owlish gaze, enhanced in their sinister intensity by the hawkbill curve of his nose and pale yellow peak of his cheeks.
Place your hands behind your back,
said the second soldier as he raised his axe over his right shoulder blade and cast it a wavering glance.
We must bind your wrists to parry any attempted escape. Be sure to make the knot a stout one, Broig.
We wouldn't want our guests to take leave of our guidance. Broig grasped Grigner's left wrist and reached for the barbarian's right wrist. Grigner wrenched his right arm free and swiveled to face Broig. Reach dash beneath his loincloth? Okay, reach beneath his loincloth with his right hand. The sentry grappled at his girdle for the sheathed dagger, but recoiled short of his intentions as Grigner's right arm swept to his gorge. The soldier went limp, his bobbing eyes rolling beneath fluttering eyelids, a deep welt across his spouting gullet. Without lingering to observe the result of his efforts, Grigner dropped to his knees. The second soldier's axe cleft over Grigner's head in a blizz of silvered ferocity, severing several scarlet locks from his scalp. Coming to rest in his fellow's stomach, the iron head crashed through mail and flesh with splintering force, spilling a pool of crimson entrails over the granite paving. All right, gang, I think that's good for this reading. This chapter seems to be going on for quite some time, so we will leave it there. It seems as though Grigner is about to make his escape. Exciting. All right, so as I mentioned, we had our very first live stream last weekend. We recorded it on Saturday, and then I posted it as a recording of the live stream on Sunday at the typical Sunday Stuff and Things time, 4 p.m. on the West Coast of the United States. I cannot tell you how surprised, how flabbergasted, how completely grateful I was to all of you for coming and watching. We had, I think, over 150 people at one point. The chat was going crazy. There was so much interaction. It was so much fun. I was expecting, I don't know, maybe a dozen people, maybe 20 people. And we had a little snafu at first where I accidentally had the stream private. And I turned it on. It was 1 o'clock and nobody was there. And I was like, all right, nobody's gonna come. And so then I was just trying to kind of record a Sunday Stuff and Things, and then I realized, I checked Twitter and someone said, hey, your stream is private. So I was not able to turn the stream public. I had to actually exit out of that stream and start a new stream. So I know that some people had some issues. We'll get into that when we go through the House Stuff and Things part of the show later on. But then I got it working. It was like 2 minutes late or so starting out. But then the people started coming, and they kept coming, and they kept coming and coming and coming. And I was amazed. There was no way I could have expected that many people to take part. It was so cool. Just thank you all so much for participating and coming to the show. And it was a really fun experience. You know, we do our hashtag #AskStuffandThings questions and everything every week. So there's some interaction there. I get some interaction when I answer some comments or answer comments on Twitter, respond to messages on Patreon. But this was just such a cool, immediate way of interacting. And it was just fun to see some of you interacting with each other in the chat as well. As far as I could tell, I couldn't totally keep up with everything that was going on in the chat, obviously, but as far as I could tell, everyone was super nice, super polite to each other. There was no nonsense going on in the chat, which is nice because I don't have a moderator or anything right now. So all in all, it went off amazingly well, and I am so thankful to all of you for taking part. It was great. We will definitely do more in the future. I don't know if we're going to do like an every month kind of thing. And we had also had a really good suggestion, I think it was from Turf Smurf, wasn't it? Someone saying that we should do a first impressions live every once in a while where we get kind of like a book club. We will get a blend, we announce it on Twitter, Patreon, whatever. You guys can all get that blend if you want to take part, and then watch live as I try the blend and we all try the blend together. I think that would be really cool. It was a really cool suggestion. So more on that eventually. I need to be able to stream remotely from Stuff and Things Studios if we're going to do things like that. So we'll see. I'll keep you all abreast of that. But again, just thank you so much. It was so cool. It went so well. Next, we have a new blend that I just recorded a first impressions video for, and that is John Cotton's, is it going to show up in the light? Double Pressed Virginia. That's right. I had gotten these, I guess I had forgotten that Sutliff sent me these completely unsolicited, and what else did they send me recently that I didn't really like? Oh yeah, it was the SPC blend. They were just sending me stuff, and I don't know why exactly, because I guess originally they were sending me the SPC barrel aged versions of Mississippi River and Plum Pudding, but then, and I guess it was Seattle Pipe Club that got in touch with me who did that, and so now I feel kind of guilty for not liking Galloping Gertie, but anyway, I like the other blends. And then I guess I just got on Sutliff's list, and they've just been sending me these blends occasionally. And I had no idea what to expect with the John Cotton's blends before. And then I had Double Pressed Latakia, and it was really good. Blended by Russ Willett, which I think I finally have figured out that's the way you pronounce it. Several people have tried to help me with the pronunciation, and then I finally watched a video of him saying his own name. He said Willett, as far as I can tell. And somebody else had told me that that was the way to pronounce it. But anyway. Blended by him. He's done a lot of great blends in the past, and I just recorded the first impressions video of Virginia, Double Press Virginia, and let me tell you, I think it's pretty damn good. And I can't wait to show you the first impressions video that we'll be posting this Wednesday, and then the final review will probably be in a couple weeks. I want to have time for this, and then I also have some guitar videos that I'm going to want to be posting as well, but we'll get to that next. I don't know how many comments I've gotten throughout the years, especially early on when I was filming in my old apartment, like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, when people would see guitars or amps or a bass and they would say, hey, you need to post videos on music or you playing guitar or just anything to do with gear, things like that. And I always batted that away. I said, no. I don't want to do that. I don't want to open up that can of worms. A big part of it was that, you know, it's slightly exposing to try to play music or to do anything, I don't know, to sing, to play music, to show art, anything like that on the internet, because you know you're going to have people coming at you, or at least you think you know that. And so I didn't want to delve into that. And then also, I don't know, it just seemed like a whole big can of worms to open up. But recently I have been posting some videos on guitar. I'd kind of had a guitar awakening, a renaissance, realizing how much I had missed playing, and I was getting back into it. And now the floodgates are open, and I'm really loving playing guitar. I've become obsessed with just like watching videos on guitar, guitar gear, all that stuff. And you asked for it, now you got it. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to get away from it, because I love playing guitar, I love producing the content, and I'm kind of obsessed about certain pedals and things that I may have a line on. There's certain bits of gear that I may be able to get my hands on that I really want to do videos on. So just, you've been warned. There is going to be more guitar stuff. There will still be good old pipe blend stuff as well. We're going to keep that up, but just bear in mind, guitar stuff's coming, and I hope you like it. Please watch it. The last video I posted, see, again, this shows some critics who say, these critics, this is not a straw man, some people have actually said this, but people will occasionally say like, ugh, you're only posting stuff to get likes or views. No, I'm not, because the music videos I post get very few views compared to like pipe blend reviews, but I really like doing them, and so I want to keep posting them. The last one I did has like maybe 450 views. That's not good. It's not good at all. But I enjoyed making the video. It was my review, not really review, but kind of overview of the full-tone CS, what is it called? The Mini Deja Vibe CS Mark II, MDV Mark II, something like that. Mini Deja Vibe, it's like a Univibe pedal. I think it's fantastic. I thought the video was fun. I thank you, those who did check it out, and please, if others would like to check it out, I would appreciate that as well. So yeah, more guitar stuff's coming. I'm sorry. You asked for it. Now you're gonna get it. All right, and now it is time for the segment that's kind of newish called What Am I Reading? And last time we did this segment, I showed you a book that I had been reading. I wasn't quite finished with it yet. That was Apocalypse Never by Michael Shellenberger. Michael Shellenberger is a longtime environmentalist who basically wanted to write a book that was a little more, I'd say, reasoned in its look at this kind of alarmism and apocalyptic thinking around the environment and climate change. He is not a climate denier, anything like that. It was a very, very, very interesting book. I think I could see two ways that people would look at the book, and this isn't like a review, but just to kind of put that to bed. It challenges a lot of the conventional thinking that gets pushed out in the media about what is good for the environment and what is bad for the environment. And I could see some people who, through no fault of their own, just from believing what they were told, thought that they were doing the right thing or thought that they were supporting the right things, and then being kind of demoralized by reading this book because it's showing that a lot of those things aren't necessarily maybe the best things to be doing, and maybe there are some other things that we should be doing. But for me, and I think for a lot of people, it actually had a really hopeful message showing that all is not lost. Things aren't as bad as so many people try to lead us to believe. And there are some really good, beneficial things that we can do. I don't know, it gave me hope. It made me feel good about the science, because there was a lot of stuff that I would read where I would see like new study comes out or the IPCC comes out saying that, you know, we've all got 10 years to live. I'm like, that can't be true. Are scientists saying that? Because that can't be true. It shows how the science is actually good. It's the way it's reported and the way certain things are cherry-picked from the science that can basically serve certain agendas out there. So it was a great book. I think it's really good. You should check it out. But now I've just started, and like, believe me, just started a book called The Righteous Mind: Why Good People Are Divided by Politics and Religion by Jonathan Haidt. I think you say Haidt. I think the D is silent. This is another book in my series, or in my attempt to come up with some sort of solution to the divisiveness that's been going on in our society lately. Let me just read to you the back of this book really quick. Obviously, I haven't read it yet, so I can't tell you whether or not I really agree with the points that are put forth in here. I've read, a couple chapters, but here's what the back of the book says. As America descends deeper into polarization and paralysis, social psychologist Jonathan Haidt has done the seemingly impossible: challenge conventional thinking about morality, politics, and religion in a way that speaks to everyone on the political spectrum. Drawing on his 25 years of groundbreaking research on moral psychology, he shows how moral judgments arise not from reason, but from gut feelings. Haidt explains why liberals, conservatives, and libertarians, now these are the American version of those terms, I know that liberal doesn't necessarily mean the same thing in Europe, have such different intuitions about right and wrong, and demonstrates why each side is actually right about many of its central concerns. In his subtle yet accessible book, Haidt gives us the key to understanding the miracle of human cooperation, as well as the curse of our eternal divisions and conflicts. If you're ready to trade in anger for understanding, read The Righteous Mind. And I'm hoping that this will help facilitate. I mean, for me, I'm already, I think, pretty reasonable. I don't hate people with whom I disagree politically, but I'm hoping that a book like this could serve to open that kind of thinking to other people who may be a little more polarized, who may be a little more binary. Because whenever you have a conversation with somebody, when it's not on social media or when it's not couched in these really polarizing political terms, you do realize that we're not all that different, most people. Most people want the same things, and most people care about other people and are pretty altruistic. So I'm hoping that that will help maybe explain, like it says in the back of the book, how these different divisions occur. I think a lot of it's going to have to do with how certain personality types will gravitate more towards different political ideologies and things like that. I'm really looking forward to reading to this. I will keep you all abreast as to how this turns out, if it's worth your time. Right now, from reading the first couple chapters, I will give you a reserved check it out. I can't say buy it and read it for sure. I would definitely say that about Apocalypse Never by Michael Schellenberger, though. I think it's fantastic. I mean, not amazingly written, and not to be insulting or anything, but as far as the information in it, I think it's great. And then this one hopefully will be the same. So that is The Righteous Mind, Why Good People Are Divided by Politics and Religion. All right, gang, I think it is now time for hashtag #AskStuffandThings. Remember, if you have a question for me and you would like it answered in a Sunday Stuff and Things, tweet at SATBradley with the hashtag #AskStuffandThings, and I will do my best to answer your question on the next Sunday Stuff and Things. Also, if you are a Patreon supporter, you can write to me there, and I will answer your questions on Sunday as well. But first, I think this is actually a YouTube comment from D. Samet. Hello from the UK. I've bought 2 tins of Elizabethan, as you're so keen. Really enjoy your reviews and have subscribed. Anyway, it seems to me to be an American term, so tell, why do you refer to many pipe blends as vapors? And he uses the spelling of vapor that they use in the UK. I guess it's an American term because my understanding of where vapor comes from is an abbreviation, the abbreviation used for the state of Virginia, which is VA, and then the first 3 letters of perique, P-E-R. So when I spell vapor, when I'm talking about a vapor blend, and a vapor blend is a blend that has Virginia and perique in it as the primary ingredients, I spell it VA, then I put a slash, and then I put P-E-R in lowercase letters, VA in uppercase letters. Some people will just spell it like vapor, like water vapor. Some people will just say V-A-P-E-R. I do the uppercase VA, as in the state of Virginia, and then the slash and the P-E-R. So it's a Virginia perique mixture. We get that question a lot, but it's always good to restate it every once in a while. Next, from Turf Smurf. Now, this is a very esoteric question that I'm sure a lot of you won't get, but Turf Smurf asks a lot of good questions all the time, and he is entitled to an answer, I think he, at BS Smurf 1974, is it just me or does Leonhard from Dark Souls 3 look a hell of a lot like our hero, Kevin Lesek? Just noticed it today as I'm watching the DS3 playthrough again. And I also wanted to acknowledge that the fact that you're watching the Dark Souls 3 playthrough again, Turf Smurf, thank you. And thank you for watching the current Bloodborne playthrough. Kevin Lesek is our player character, our avatar in that. I think they made Dark Souls 3 after Bloodborne, and I think they just incorporated some of the costuming from Bloodborne, which has kind of there's sort of a mixture of early 19th and late 18th century steampunky, and then also, I don't know, interesting look. And there are some tricorn hats and things like that. And there's some of that in Dark Souls 3 as well, especially the character of Leonhard. Next, from Neville Smith at TCTI, aloof English voice, please. Aloof English voice. Do you leave your ashtray at the SAT studio or carry it back and forth? And when will you replace the beat-up cork knocker? Hashtag #AskStuffandThings. Yeah, I just have it there at the studio because I don't need to use it indoors. I don't need one at my apartment because I don't have my pipe blends in my apartment. In my vehicle, if I'm having a pipe, I don't knock out any blend into the car. I do it outside the car. Yeah, so I don't have it with me. Well, I have it with me now. It's right here. There it is. And the cork knocker I will probably never replace because I don't really use it anyway. Next, from Tom Wainwright at Waynair, in an old geezer voice again.
Hey, Bradley. I was trying to watch the live stream when I got home from groceries. YouTube said it was a private video. What am I doing wrong with this gang-fangled contraption? In the frustration, I spilt my mint julep.
Well, I kind of explained that a little bit. I'm sorry if anyone was not able to get in. I think that if you just go to the YouTube homepage, whatever live stream is currently going on to my page's home screen. So like if you're on YouTube and you click on Stuff and Things, it'll go to the main page for Stuff and Things. And then if the live stream is currently on, it will be shown there as like the first video and you can click on it. Like I said, I just had one that was accidentally private. I couldn't get it off of private, so I had to abandon that and start a new live stream. So that's what happened there. I'm sorry if you weren't able to get into the actual one that worked, but hopefully next time we'll get all that figured out and we won't have the same issue again. Thank you, gang, for all those questions. And again, thank you so much for all the questions and interaction during the live stream. But now it is time for the very best part of the Stuff and Things, Sunday Stuff and Things shows every week. And that is where we thank you, our Patreon supporters, the people who really help out and make this show possible. If you would like to support the channels on Patreon, there is a link in the description box below. Every little bit helps and it's much appreciated. But if you support the channels at $25 or more a month, you get a special shout out every week. And I would like to thank Ryan McFadin, MDoftheNorth, Kirk Crompton, Private Eye, Cody corrected my pronunciation of his name. It's Cody Striegler, I believe. I hope I got that right. Cody Striegler! Is that correct? Ryan Stauffer, corbynborbyn, and Glenn. And now for the Maniacs, the crazy people who support the channels at $100 a month. Peter Straub, who I will be speaking to tomorrow, actually, and Bob Magee. If you support the channel at that crazy level, you get to have a Skype conversation with me once every 3 months. I don't know why you'd want that, but it's cool, and I enjoy it. So anyway, thank you all so much for your support. Thank you all so much for watching. Please watch the first impressions video of John Cotton's Double Pressed Virginia coming up on Wednesday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we have Bloodborne at 2 p.m. Pacific, and then this is 12 p.m. Pacific on Wednesday. And then we will be having more guitar videos. We'll be having more videos about all sorts of things. So please keep it right here. And until next time, until we meet again, I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things on a pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things. I'll see you later.